Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Should You Play, where I show you some spoiler-free gameplay and give you my thoughts after playing new games for a few hours, while also highlighting and checking out at least one of the PlayStation Plus games for each month. In this video I'm playing Split Fiction, the latest game from the studio that brought us the fantastic split-screen co-op games A Way Out and It Takes Two. So full disclosure, I'm a huge fan of the work that Hazelight Studios has done. Having played and loved their previous games, my expectations for Split Fiction were pretty high, and after playing a good amount of the way through this game, as far as I'm concerned, they're 3 for 3 now. The game isn't perfect, but it's pretty damn close, so let's talk about why.
Welcome to the next chapter of storytelling.
The plot of Split Fiction centers on two authors, Mio and Zoe, who, after being connected to a machine at a publishing house, find themselves trapped within the worlds of their own stories.
What are you doing in my story?
Mio's writing is rooted in science fiction, while Zoe's words are steeped in fantasy, and to escape back to reality, the two have to work together while navigating challenges from both of their imaginations.
How can you be so excited by all this?
What? We might as well enjoy it while we're here.
While the story does lean heavily on these sci-fi and fantasy elements, it's got a good mix of lighthearted moments and darker undertones as well, ranging from playing around in the mud as pigs to delving into each of the characters' backstories.
Are you for real, Zoe? Like I said, I wrote it when I was a kid. What sort of devil child were you?
Mio and Zoe are also both well-written protagonists with their own unique character arcs and personalities, and there's a lot of fun to be had with them, as well as with the genre-bending narrative throughout the game's 8 chapters. In addition to the main plot, there are side stories that you can go on that take the form of glitches within the machine, and they'll take you through some fun and random adventures that may not fit into the narrative at the exact moment you find them, but still align with the overall structure of the game and its story.
This side story is wild, Zoe.
I also highly recommend doing all of them, as even though they're optional, they add a lot to the gameplay experience and add a couple of extra hours to your playthrough as well.
Then let's keep an eye out for more of these side stories.
The game also has a ton of Easter eggs referencing other video games and pop culture moments, ranging from dodging Donkey Kong barrels and riding sand creatures like in Dune, to jumping from heights into Assassin's Creed hay bales and reliving one of the darkest moments from It Takes Two. As with A Way Out and It Takes Two, Split Fiction is a mandatory co-op game, and it supports both local and online play, as well as the Friends Pass system that allows you to play the game with someone who doesn't own a copy.
Same thing as before, but with a sprinkle of extra fun.
Additionally, the game supports cross-play between platforms, meaning that you can own the game on PlayStation and still play with a friend who's on Steam or Xbox.
Sounds intriguing.
As expected from Hazelight, Split Fiction keeps things fresh by constantly changing the gameplay to match the environmental and story elements. Sometimes the game is a third-person action-adventure title, at other times it's a puzzle platformer, and the rest of the time it can change between being a racer, shooter, 2D side-scroller, or even a hot dog simulator.
What the hell, Zoe? What? Oh god!
And of course, because it's a co-op adventure, Split Fiction will also cycle between being split-screen and full-screen, depending on what's going on. Communication between you and your co-op partner is the key to success, as Mio and Zoe have unique abilities that you'll need to use together to progress. For example, sometimes Mio will have to break something for Zoe to open it up, or Zoe will have to use her abilities to create a platform for Mio to get across a hazardous surface. Of course, there are also plenty of areas where you can just mess around with each other as well, whether it's trying to sabotage each other with your weapons, or just going down water slides for fun. Split Fiction is also definitely more of a complex game than its predecessors were. It's got sections that require you to run, shoot, and operate the camera all at once, as well as some boss battles that'll demand a bit more attention from you. And while I personally don't see this as a downside by any means, it might be a bit challenging for those who aren't used to games that require more coordination.
Give it some time and you will come around.
On the plus side, there are in-game options that allow you to make things easier for individuals who may be struggling a bit, letting them take less damage or not have to press any buttons during button mash sequences. But I wouldn't describe any section of the game as overly challenging, and that's compounded by the fact that checkpoints are plenty, and even if you both happen to die at the same time, you'll lose, at most, maybe 30 seconds of progress. With so many mechanics in play, solid controls are essential, and they hold up well as my co-op partner and I only experienced one issue, and that was during an early swimming sequence where the controls seemed to be fighting us a little bit. However, this appeared to be a one-time problem, as we didn't experience it again for the rest of our playthrough, even during other water-based sequences. Now, while their past titles didn't look bad by any means, the graphics in Split Fiction are noticeably better compared to their previous titles. One of the only real issues I had with It Takes Two's visuals were that the human characters looked a bit uncanny at times, but the humans and other characters in this story look significantly better, especially Mio and Zoe.
Fantasy or not, still a bit cruel.
As for everything else, the graphics are impressive, but there are still some very minor imperfections here and there, including occasional clipping and some visual effects such as fires looking a little bit flat. But these are relatively small issues for what's an otherwise very impressive looking game.
Damn. How about this, huh?
Split Fiction also runs very smoothly, with no noticeable issues such as frame rate drops or texture popping, even during intense action sequences or split-screen moments, and for a game that's just launched, this is fantastic to see. During gameplay, there were a few instances where my co-op partner got stuck on the environment or on the side of a platform. However, these issues were brief, and with the respawns happening quickly, didn't hinder the gameplay experience beyond a second or two of delay.
We're good! We're good!
There are always games that I'm looking forward to, but it's rare for me to be excited to play something, and Split Fiction is absolutely one of those games.
Sounds amazing.
There are visual and technical upgrades across the board, and you can tell that the developers really paid attention to the little details, but the most important thing is that the game is just fun. So many games in recent years have shifted their focus to challenges or the grind, and while I still enjoy those titles, it's refreshing to get back to something that just prioritizes enjoyment and creativity.
This is actually quite nice.
Plus, there's also the added incentive of replaying the game with the other protagonist, or to get some of the miscellaneous trophies and achievements too. So if you're looking for a game that's both easy to get into and rewards the couch or online co-op experience, Split Fiction is an easy recommendation.
After you.
As always though, this is just my opinion. Whether you're playing as Mio and wielding a laser sword, or you're playing as Zoe and shapeshifting into a giant tree, let me know in the comments what you think of Split Fiction.
That sequence would fit in a movie or something.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Trickier than I anticipated. So much for very simple and straightforward. Yeah. But damn, what a view.